No, alright. I lied. I'm going back out. I was right. She's 42. We had that site. Yeah, the rain is picking up, but you know, it's not bad or nothing, so I just want to go out and ride for a little while yet so I can get some dark, you know, night shots and night video and all that jazz. I mean, yeah, I should have threw my sweatshirt on, but then I wouldn't really be feeling the raindrops in my arms. I mean, I still want to hit on that chick, but you know, now it's at a point that I want to be hard ass. You know, now it's at a fucking point that you know, these kids are, you know, these kids are starting to look, you know, starting to be like 18, 19 years old, and they're starting to look younger and younger. You know, they could be, you know, like I said, you know, 18, 19 years old. You know, yeah, you know, like I said, you know, these kids are starting to, you know, to turn 18, 19 this year, if not, you know, 16, 17. You know, so these kids are starting, you know, like I said, turning 16 to 19 this year. And they're looking, you know, like I said, this age, you know, like I said, starting to turn into a, you know, young adults. You know, I'm not trying to incriminate myself or anything. I'm just saying that there is an issue that you know, these kids, you know, like I said, 16 to 19, or I should say 16 to 18, soon to be 19 or whatever, that are dressing to look slutty in a way. You know, so then it's, you know, wearing all these tight clothes and crop tops and all this makeup, you know, it's making them look older when they're 16, 17 years old, you know, under the age of, you know, they're still minors yet. Ugh. You know, that, you know, so that's enticing these older men, you know, way older than me, because I don't look at, I'm not a creep. I'm just saying, you know, yeah, if you're 16, 17 and you're good looking, I'll say, hey, you're, you know, actually good looking. You know, I compliment, say, hey, you're good looking. You know, just, you know, if, you know, I tell them, you know, if I had a word of advice, you know, because I, you know, like I said, I'm not no fucking sex, you know, child predator or this fucking sex offender. I'm not. I'm just saying, you know, word of advice from another normal human being to a human being, you know, another normal human being, you know. She's like, well, why do you say that? Are you a sex offender? I'm like, no. And I can get where you're going, and I can see where they, you know, are where they're coming from when they say that. I get it, because there's a lot of creeps out there. But you know, I tell them just a word of advice, you know. I'm just trying to do my civil duty to keep them from being lured into harm's way, you know, of either A, going missing, because yeah, kids, you know, child abduction is a thing too, you know, so child abduction is a thing. You know, a lot of kids go fucking missing. You know, so there's a lot of child abductions. You know, yeah, kids, a lot of times kids don't fucking understand. They go missing, they wander off. You know, bad people take kids. You know, then they raise them to be bad people. But you know, I tell her just a word of advice. I'm just trying to be friendly. I'm not, you know, some weirdo. You know, I tell her that. But just be aware of who you talk to. You know. She's like, well, don't I have to worry about that with you? I'm like, yeah, you should. But I'm one of those fucking people that will do anything to help a family get their daughter or kid back. You know, their daughter, son. You know, I do, you know, I tell her I'm one of the people that would help the families, you know, help with any way I could to get, you know, their beloved child back. Like, well, what do you look at me as? I'm like, a normal human being, you know. I'm not saying your mom and dad are bad parents. It's just I'm saying, you know, yeah, your mom and dad may give you a lot of fucking freedom. You know, let you go out with friends, you know, go out to the mall with friends, or, you know, go to all these places and do this shit on your own. I mean, yeah, you should feel lucky that your mom and dad are trusting you with this. She's like, well, how so? I'm like, well, because, you know, I'm like, what? I'm willing to guess the age between, you know, between the ages of 16 and 20, right? And she's like, yeah. How'd you know? I'm just guessing. You know, how old you are. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not. But, you know, it's, you know, I tell her, trust me. I've seen so many missing kid cases in my 24 years of life. It's not funny. You know, I've seen so many kids go missing, get kidnapped. I've seen and heard so many fucking Amber Alerts, you know, throughout my life that, you know, kids go missing, kids die. You know, I've watched 2 people die, pretty much. You know, you know, so I mean, one for sure I can say I've watched die. Well, because I had in 2010, I think it was. I had, you know, about it to, you know, around this time, you know, he was at the time my age, I'm assuming, you know, between 18 and 24. He was between that range. I'm thinking, I don't know how old he was. Well, I think he's like maybe 24, 25. Lived, matter of fact, down the road from me. You know, he lived on. So if you guys go back and watch like Hood Tour episode 11 or whatever, or watch an episode of I go up, you know, in my neighborhood at my house, you see me go up Newtalls towards University. You know, so if you watch a previous video that I've shot in my neighborhood, you see me go up Newtalls towards University. The duplex on the corner of Newtalls and Preble, you know, so if you go up towards University, you'll be on the left-hand side. And he lived in that duplex. His dad still lives there. And he was into cars, you know, the JDM stuff, you know, like your Hondas and your Mitsubishis and stuff like that. You know, he's into the JDM foreign shit. You know, I call it the foreign garbage. But there are some nice looking JDM cars. You know, if you build them right, like the landlord of the duplex next to my house, her son has a nice Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8, Evo 8. It's not, he built that car up nice, to be nice. And it's a nice car.